Okay, and we're going.
Yeah, that's why I don't always drive. Well, episode
5.
3. No, this is episode 5, but episode 3 when I started driving off before we had confirmed that everything was recording, and it was all good.
Just got to make sure now.
Well, fuck. So now rule is I do not start driving until we're recording and it's official.
Yeah, exactly. Rightio.
So, second leg of the journey.
Second leg of the journey. Episode 5. We're
5.
breaking them down. We're trying to get as much content out of this as possible.
Yeah,
I've got a coffee from an unbranded Burgundy company. Ben's got his energy drink
of a non-branded horror film.
That was clever.
9 o'clock in the morning. I've come up with that. I'm quite proud of that.
We're starting to perk up a little bit. I've got some Rennie and I've got some ibuprofen as well.
Starting to perk up a little bit, mate.
Yeah, you're fucking too perky. Far too perky.
Yeah, but no, we thought it'd be best to break these journeys up because normally I can drive 3 hours all in one go, no problem.
And that's fine because I'm normally asleep.
You're normally asleep. But I think to try and do 3 hours in one go without breaks and everything, we would have run out of things to talk about. And it would have just been like looking at each other going, you say something.
No, you say something. we would have had to delve into the glove box of topics.
I'm sure we will at some point anyway.
Maybe on the way back.
But it would have been literally like, you say something. No, you say something. What do you want to talk about? No, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
And then we would probably would have had our second argument of our friendship.
Yeah.
Because we don't argue, which is like I don't know why, but it is strange that me and you just never argue.
Not really, no.
Like we get passionate, we have very passionate debates,
and we disagree. We might disagree on something, but we don't really normally argue.
No.
There hasn't been like periods where we don't talk.
No.
So. Yeah. So. You brought up a topic that we decided that we needed more time to speak about.
Parents fucking you over.
Yes, because this is one of your favourite topics of mine.
Well, yes. Because when I finally have enough money for therapy, it's literally all I'm going to be talking about.
Okay, yeah.
So how did your parents fuck you up this time?
Well. It all started when I hit my head when I was 3.
Mate, it all started when I was fucking born.
Oh, dear.
But of course, my first car was a Peugeot 206.
That was it. We were talking about Peugeot, Lightning.
Little Lightning, yeah.
That was that car's name.
Now, for the people who are like, you name your cars, my parents named their cars. So for me, naming the cars was just always it's a done thing. Like I remember, like the first car I remember growing up was Daisy Van.
I think a lot of people name their cars. I don't think that's unreasonable.
No. But I think, a lot of people name their cars within time, whereas my family, it's you get the car, you name it.
Yeah.
So like the car I remember most growing up was Daisy Van, and the reason it was called Daisy Van is not because it was like white and with black spots, but as you started up, it went as you started it up.
Okay.
So naturally, because like its full fancy name was Daisy Moo Van.
Right. Okay. I love how this topic started off as parents fucking us over, and now it's talking about names.
Car names. Anyway, Peugeot 206. Lightning. My first ever car.
Yeah.
Another topic which actually I got one up on my parents, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So of course I was off to university, and I didn't need a car at university. Everything was in walking distance.
Yeah. My
parents have always had 2 cars, but at the time I was going to uni, they happened to just go down to 1 car. And so the agreement was, I would give them my Peugeot, my little Lightning.
Yep.
And they would use it as a second runaround car, and then at the end of uni, they would give it back to me.
Yep.
Fine. Cool. Great. However, then my brother crashed his car and he absolutely totaled his car. And at the time, my brother was working as a tradie.
Yeah.
And so he needed his car to get to work. And so my parents decided to give him my little Lightning.
Yeah.
But they didn't just give him Lightning.
Yeah.
They sold Lightning to him.
Yep.
I didn't sell Lightning to them. I made no money out of Lightning. They took, I gave them Lightning to give back to me, and then they sold it to my brother and kept the money.
Yep.
I'm sorry. What?
And the worst thing is that your brother killed that car.
And then my brother, no, my brother killed the car in the end, but my mum helped.
Yeah.
Because I remember once when I came home, no, she's not aggressive. It's just gear changes are an option to my mother.
Yeah, I know.
You
That's
know,
why it's aggressive.
I remember I
She did 70 and 2.
came home from like on my Christmas break and we were driving along, and she was doing 50 in second gear, and I was like, Mum, you gotta go up a couple of gears. Oh, I guess I could. Oh. So yeah, so my mum killed Lightning. My brother, well, my mother brought Lightning to his knees.
Yeah.
And my brother gave the final blow.
Yeah.
To Lightning. So yeah, that was the time that my parents fucked me. Well, one of the times my parents fucked me over. But as I said, I got one up on them on Lightning because my nan, when we were all born,
Yeah.
my nan opened up little bank accounts for us and was like putting money aside every so often kind of thing.
Yeah.
Was it my nan or was it my granddad? One of my grandparents.
A
grandparent was putting money aside for us.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is we got all the money at the age of 18.
Yeah.
I went to my parents and said, rather than waiting a year, can I have the money now so I can get a car?
Yeah.
And my parents said, yeah, we'll talk to your grandparent about it, see if they agree.
Yeah.
And my grandparent even said to me, you're not going to get as much as your brothers and sisters because you're getting it a year early. And I said, I'm fully well aware, but I want a car.
Yeah.
So they gave me the money and everything. And my dad was like, right, so when you turn 17, we'll go get you a car. And this is when my little evil side crept in. And I went, oh, like a birthday present. And of course, my parents are Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't do birthdays. And I was like, oh, like a birthday present.
Yep.
Next thing I know, I come home from school and my dad's like, right, get in the car. We're going to go buy you a car. I was like, but Dad, I'm not even 17 yet. And he's like, I know. And we bought it within like 3 days. He's like, see, it's not a birthday present. I was like, mate, I don't care. I've got a car at 16. You can be on your fucking high horse about not buying me a birthday present, but I now own a car at age 16.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Suck on that, Dad. Because you remember, all it did is just sit in the back garden.
Yeah.
For like the first few weeks and everything.
I remember me and you sitting in the car, not being able to drive, and just turning the engine on and we're like, oh my god.
Turning the engine on and just listening to music and being like, oh my god, this is so cool. Yeah, Little Lightning. Did a lot in Little Lightning, I did. A lot of driving.
Yeah.
Not in that way. We are not getting sexual yet. A lot of driving, because can you remember?
Oh god, we used to drive
like,
everywhere in that.
Post me passing my tests.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I don't know what you did in your day, but my days were the same thing every day. Go to sixth form.
Well, I was at college, yeah.
You were at college. Finish at 3. I'd go do my part-time job at McDonald's till 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And then from 11 o'clock at night till 2 or 3 in the morning, we'd be driving around, rinse and repeat.
Well, no, because obviously where I went to college, I had to catch the bus first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So I went to Artley College, and that was a trek from Felixstowe, because the Felixstowe bus, it was a double decker, and it had to drive through all the little villages on the way, plus go through Woodbridge and collect everybody through Woodbridge. And we were on the bus for like an hour and 10 minutes, so I used to have to catch it at like 8 o'clock in the morning, quarter to 8. And then we'd get to college at 9, and college was 9 till 5. And then we would travel back. So I wasn't getting home until like 6, 7 o'clock. I felt like a working man. I'd come home, my dinner was on the table. I was like, I can get used to this life. Go out, earn the beans, come back, dinner on the table.
Yeah.
But that was it. It was by the time I had dinner and everything else. And then if I had work in the evenings as well, because I had my part-time waitering.
You did.
For a catering company and everything. Like, by the time I get home, and if I wasn't even working that night, because when my first year of college, that was when I was still working first year?
Yeah.
My first year? I think my first year, I was still working in the Victoria in Old Felixstowe.
All right,
When I was a KP there 2 nights a week.
Yeah.
On like a Tuesday and a Friday. So I used to go to college 5 days a week. So it was like I would literally get off the bus at an earlier stop in town. Mum or Dad would pick me up from there. I used to get off the Co-op one,
Yeah.
where Cash Converters is now. That stopped there by the Elizabeth. And then parents used to pick me up and then take me straight from there. I used to get changed at work into my washing up gear.
Yeah.
And then I'd do like a 5-hour shift and they'd feed me there.
Yeah.
I'd do from like 6 till 10, half or 11, depending on how busy it was. Friday night, get out at like midnight, get home. You know, so I was, and on this subject of parents fucking us over.
Yeah.
Me and my parents have had disagreements in our time.
Who hasn't?
Exactly, like all parents. But in the grand scheme of things, as much as I didn't really want to go to college and do a trade and all that kind of thing, I'm actually quite glad that I did.
Yeah.
Because as much as it did screw me over and I didn't agree with the fact that I wasn't allowed to go to college, wasn't allowed to go to sixth form, and I wasn't allowed, well, the plan was to go to college for 3 years and then, or 2 years, and then by the time I've done that, I could then join uni and then it would be the same year as yourself.
Yeah.
But obviously that was when we had financial crash and everything.
Yes.
So I never ended up going to uni, where my sister was allowed to go to college and study art and do what she wanted to do. But in the grand scheme of things, it probably worked out in my favour to go to college, and I was earning at like 17. I was earning money because I was self-employed.
Yeah.
I was working when I wasn't now. I was doing weekend jobs, evening jobs. I was earning the beans while you were racking up a student debt. And just to rub it into the wounds, the only performances you ever did were college and uni based, and I've done stuff on stage for Andram.
You have.
You know? So.
But whilst you're trying to rub it in, how's tradie life going, Paddy? How's the painting and decorating life?
It's always there to fall back on.
No, it's not. Not with your knees and back.
No, that was why I had to give it up. So that was, to be fair, that was heartbreaking, really.
Yeah.
To find out, basically, like my physio would just basically said to me, was just like, you might be good at painting and decorating and plastering, but your body is just not designed for it. And sorry, you need to find something else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been a thing for plasterers and like paint and decorators as well, because obviously you spend like a lot of days like just kneeling down, painting skirtings and things like that. Where I ended up having to like lay down or like sit down and things like that because I couldn't do it with my knees for too long. But like lower back problems are always an issue with plasterers because of the work.
Yeah.
But to have that issue at like 19, and they were just like, you just got to give it up, otherwise you won't make it to like your 30. And I was just like, brilliant. So that was the only other thing I knew was weight, you know. So
yeah. See, now for me, like whenever someone asks me the question if you could go back to any age, what would you do? Without even thinking, I say 17 because that was like the best. You know, sixth form, part-time job, driving around to 2-3 in the morning, rinsing and repeat. No taxes, no bills. It was it was chef's kiss.
Yeah, it was nice.
However, if you see any photos of me at age 17, the bags under my eyes.
Yeah.
I could have gone to New York with them.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. But that was because you just weren't sleeping.
I wasn't sleeping, but at the time I felt invincible. But now, like looking back, I'm like, I was an idiot.
Yeah.
I was an absolute idiot. You know, going out till 2-3 in the morning? No, bed.
Yeah.
You know?
But you still only sleep like 6 hours a night.
Yeah, I'm not a big sleeper.
Well, I will happily sleep for 10 hours and still be tired.
Mm.
But that's probably oversleeping. But like last couple of days, obviously because I've been off, I've been actually having just like 8 hours and feel fine.
Yeah.
I had a really bad night's sleep last night.
I think because of course when you sleep, you go through cycles, don't you? You go through like deep sleep and REM, blah, blah, blah. I think, I mean, I don't know because I've never had a scientist study me and everything, but I get into sleep and I go like straight into like the deep sleep.
Yeah, but no, I think that's what everybody does. You start off in deep.
Yeah, but whereas like you go into your deep and then you come out into your light and back into deep and everything. I go into deep and I'm in deep.
Yeah. Until
my alarm wakes me up.
That's fair.
Which is probably why I can get away with only having 5 to 6 hours of sleep and feel fine.
Probably.
And for example, we're episode 5 now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Episode 4, you've had to have a coffee in order to be awake, in order to chat, whereas I've
had 2 coffees.
You've had 2 coffees. Whereas
I've just had my second double espresso
Yeah.
of the morning, and it's only just gone 9 o'clock.
Whereas I've woken up, got in the car, and I'm you know.
Yeah.
So,
And for reference, he's only having the Monster as because we've got a long day.
we've got a long day,
So you're having it now, and
Oh, yeah.
that will keep you going all day.
probably. And this is the fact, because I don't drink coffee, and once again, it's not because I don't like coffee. It's because once again I'm weird.
He doesn't like hot drinks. He doesn't have hot drinks at all. No tea, no coffee, no hot chocolate.
It feels weird in my mouth, and that you could take that sentence however you fucking want.
Well, I was gonna say, man.
It just, I can drink a hot drink.
Yeah.
In fact, I love the flavour of coffee. I love the flavour of tea. But the moment I've drunk a hot drink, I have to then have a cold drink to bring my mouth back to normality.
Yeah.
Told you I'm weird.
You are weird.
So it's like, I'll happily drink an iced coffee and an iced tea, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just easier just to not drink them. And because I don't drink coffee, when I have a caffeinated drink, my God,
Yeah.
I am
You're buzzing.
bouncing off the walls.
I wish caffeine had that effect on me like it used to.
Because you drink it every day. I
I
don't.
need to.
This is my first energy drink since. Look at me now. Already it's done. This is my first energy drink since the drive back from Stoke in August? No.
Really? No.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
This is my first caffeinated drink since then.
Yeah. Well, I think you remember the days when I used to work in the pub.
Oh, I remember the days when I used to work in hospitality and I couldn't function without a can of energy drink.
Yeah, but when I had the pub and I was working from like 8 o'clock in the morning until midnight.
Yeah.
And I just poked my bruise and that really fucking hurt. Pitiful.
Fool of a tuck.
Fool of a duck. I used to have like 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
And then I used to have 3 or 4 energy drinks.
Yeah.
Throughout the day. Maybe another cup of coffee or so in between.
Yeah.
Because it was the only thing that was keeping me functioning.
Yeah.
And I know it's ironic how, like, we were just talking about the fact that my body was giving up on me, and basically all I was doing at that time was keep pumping so much caffeine into it. I was taking Pro Plus as well.
Jesus.
I was addicted.
Didn't realise it was that bad.
Oh, I was addicted to caffeine.
Yeah.
But it was the only thing that was keeping me going. It was just unhealthy, and that was when I left the pub. I didn't have anything. I went cold turkey for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I had to, because I had the shapes for days, and I had to give myself. I know I'm back on caffeine, but if you think in the grand scheme of things, I may have an energy drink once in a blue moon, and if I do now, it's the 0 sugar ones, because I used to have the sugar ones as well.
Oh, you remember when we used to have the Rockstar guava every day, without fail?
Just you mentioning that has made me salivate.
It's made me salivate as well.
That flavour of that is so good. But I'm now these days I might have 2 or 3 doubles.
Yeah.
On a long day like today, I'm probably going to likely have 4, because I won't now have a coffee until we've had lunch with Black, and I'll have a coffee after lunch, or with lunch, or whatever, depending on how we do it. And then maybe another one for the drive home. And that will be me done for the day, or I might have the Monster for a day on the drive home because we're having a long day.
Yeah.
But what episode did we film? Was it a test episode, or was it an episode where I had the Monster for that?
That was a test episode.
That was a test episode, and that was only because I'd been on breakfast shift and we had decided to test last minute.
Yeah.
And I had planned to go to bed, but then I was like, no, I need to stay awake. That's why I had Monster.
Yeah.
So, otherwise I try not to have too much caffeine, because otherwise I don't want to get back into that addiction of it.
No, I get that. Like I said, like you, obviously, I didn't realise you were that addicted. I don't think you've ever sort of admitted that to me. So this is the first time I'm hearing about
I
it.
assumed you knew. Yeah, no, I was taking Pro Plus with coffee in the mornings.
Fucking hell.
To get me buzzed, to get me going.
No,
especially like on a Sunday morning where I was just then like having to get into the kitchen at like 7 o'clock in the morning to then start cooking and prepping everything for all the Sunday roasts. Because at that time we didn't have a chef either, so I was chef as well as managing the place.
Yeah.
So it was like all of me and Kimball. You know, we were doing everything. We were chefing as well as trying to run the business.
Yeah.
You know.
No, so the hotel I worked at in Orpington,
Yes. Yeah.
there was a Poundland right on the corner next to it. So we'd run the breakfast shift, and then we'd all like pull out some pound coins, and would send one of the staff members running to the Poundland. We'd all collectively like have an energy drink to get us through the rest of the shift and everything.
Yeah.
And it was like, I literally couldn't function without that energy drink.
Yeah.
And it's like the same as you. When I left hospitality, I was like, right, no more.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, because at the time, I drunk and I didn't feel any different. I didn't feel any effects of it.
No.
Now I have it. I don't even need to have an energy drink. The other day, I was coming down with a flu. I had the fucking cold and flu tablets, which have the tiniest bit of caffeine in it. And I was, because this was when I was seeing You Know Who.
Yeah.
And we were driving back from Cambridge one day, and I'd taken this cold and flu tablet, and I was just like, driving the car. And he's like, "Are you alright?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine."
Yeah.
He's like, "Are you sure you're right?" I was like,
Caffeine.
Caffeine.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was. I don't understand how like my body has completely reversed to now being so reactive to caffeine.
Yeah.
When I used to have an energy drink, minimum an energy drink a day.
Yeah.
If I was feeling fruity, maybe even 2 or 3.
Yeah. Rockstar Guava. Oh, that was the drink, man. If they do a sugar-free version of that, I am on it.
Can you remember what we did, like the summer holiday of after our year? Same thing every day without fucking fail. How did we not get bored?
I don't know. I know like humans are creatures of habit, but I mean that wasn't
habit. That was addiction.
It was pure routine addiction.
Yeah.
Wake up, do what we did at home. We would meet up, get a Rockstar, go for a walk. Was it that way around?
No, it was meet up, walk into town, orange and raspberry ice cooler from Costa.
Oh, forgot about them.
Walk back down to the seafront, snooker club, play some pool, Rockstar Guava at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then you'd be back at home for 5 minutes.
Ice cream sundaes.
And ice cream sundaes.
Oh. Yeah.
That was the routine. The summer holiday of year 11.
Yeah.
That was every single day without fail. That is what we did.
That was something.
How did we not get sick? Referencing back to Banshees of Inisherin from last episode, how did we not get sick of each other?
But I think that just proves that, like, I don't think our friendship will never waver, Ben. The love that we have for each other is strong.
Don't use that word, because the people already think we're a couple.
Yeah, well, we've had that for years.
We have, and it's hilarious how
everybody always thinks
all that, but also how upset you get about it.
I know, but this is why I never pull. Because everybody thinks that I'm with you.
I'm sorry, am I not good enough for you?
No, you're not. Basically, no. Fucking right.
I am a catch. You would be lucky to have me.
No, I wouldn't be, because I'd be completely barking up the wrong bloody tree.
But this is the thing.
But we've always said this. I need like the female version of you, and you need a gay version of me.
Yeah.
That's basically what we need.
Yeah. But have you not noticed, whenever I disappear out of the scene, that's when you get a girlfriend?
Do you want to fuck off for a bit?
I'll fuck Hey, you moved to Manningtree. That should be fucking off enough.
Yeah, but it's still with the driving distance.
That is a fair comment.
But
yeah, because of course I fucked off to uni, and that's when you met the short one.
Yeah.
Then when I fucked off... The biatch. Then I fucked off to London, and that's when you met the second biatch.
No, she wasn't a biatch. I still stand by that was just wrong timing.
Oh, right person, wrong time.
Yeah, I feel that.
I see that. And then, have you technically, and then of course your most recent one.
Yeah, but even then that wasn't like anything major. I haven't had a proper relationship.
That one I hadn't fully fucked off yet, had I? Because as you said, Felixstowe to Manningtree is drivable.
Yeah, and you met her quite soon.
Yes. Yeah. Do we want to talk about relationships in this episode?
Let's not do that. That's a rabbit hole for
that's episode 50.
That's when people really know us.
That's episode 50, when we run out of things to talk about, right? Let's open the book of trauma.
Yeah. Let's not do that just yet. We're supposed to be having a nice day.
We are having a nice day talking about
Let's not
baggage.
Let's not get into baggage today.
See, I have no issue with baggage. I mean, like when I've like gone out on dates with people, and they're I've got baggage. I'm like, yeah, I've got baggage too. Do you want to share stories? Do you want to swap?
Yeah.
Baggage stories.
It affects everybody differently. I'd be happy to talk about it because, especially like my only two serious ones.
You've got one more than me.
Yeah, but even then, they were a long time ago.
They were.
So it doesn't hurt to talk about them.
Yeah.
So they're not fresh and raw.
Not going to get into that wound.
Yeah.
We're not going to reopen it.
That's healed. It's a dirty scar, but it's healed.
Is no one on the horizon at the moment?
No.
Fair enough. You and I are one and the same then.
Exactly.
But yeah, you always do well dating-wise when I fuck off.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to fuck off.
But we've had this discussion before where you kind of semi-meet somebody when I'm not seeing somebody, and when I'm seeing somebody, you don't get a look at.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the same with our jobs as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're having a shit time at work, I'm having a great time, and then when I'm having a shit time at work, you're having a slightly better time.
And we're both on the mediocre scale at the moment, so we're fine.
Yeah.
Everything is just average, so it's all cool.
It's just ticking over.
Yeah.
It's like, it is what it is at the moment. But yeah, it is interesting. But yeah, I think people always have to meet you first without me. If you get me. Because if they meet us both together at the same time, they instantly assume couple.
Yeah.
If they meet me first and then they meet you, they go, oh, yeah, couple.
Yeah.
But if they meet you first without me, then I appear on the scene. They're like, right, okay, they're just friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like people.
That's normally because
first.
I've had to like reiterate that fact before they meet you. He's just my friend.
Yeah.
Yes, he's gay, but he is my best friend.
You know what? I'm actually going to rant about something now.
Oh God.
So this is what really annoys me in the gay community.
Yeah.
Is you can't have a guy friend.
No, you can't.
You can't have a guy friend because like people are like, oh, what are you up to this evening? Oh, I'm going to the cinema with a mate, and they go, oh yeah. Who's the mate? Oh, his name's Paddy. And his name's Paddy. Is he? And it's like, yes, he is a friend. Nothing. Well, a friend. Wink face. I'm like, yes, a friend. Nothing else. I'm like, oh, have you ever tried? Maybe,
yes.
But no.
Yes,
you have. Maybe, but that's not the fucking point. We all try stupid things when we're teenagers. You know?
God, yeah. So fucking long ago as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but it's also at the same time, like, I say I tried. It was a very meager try, wasn't it?
It was a very meager. Let's put it this way. It was such a meager try. I thought you were taking the piss.
Probably. Yeah.
I thought you, because I messaged you, didn't I? Replied. I was just like, dude, I'm not in the mood for this. Not in the mood for this.
Probably.
Job. But how long have we known each other now? Year 8 in high school.
Yeah. That's what, 12, 13?
Yeah.
Now 29.
So a long bloody time.
Yeah, 15, 16 years.
Yeah. So, and as we say, there's no getting rid of us because we know too much about each other.
Yeah. You are responsible for taking all my secrets to the grave.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah. But then again, we're now recording a podcast talking about our lives, so it's like...
Oh, yeah. But we're not going that deep.
No. I think there are still going to be some non-podcast secrets.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't have to tell me the secrets, but do you honestly have any secrets from me?
From?
Yeah. Some secrets that I do not know about.
I don't know if there's secrets, but there's stuff I haven't told you.
Okay.
If that makes sense. It's not like I'm like, Ben must never ever know this.
Yeah.
It's more of a case of they've just never like come up.
Yeah.
Or like, especially like, I feel like, we're gonna bring up baggage now. But obviously with like,
I thought we weren't bringing up baggage. I thought it got lost by Ryanair.
Well, yeah, but you're bringing up the subject.
Okay.
With obviously he who must not be named.
Right. Okay.
Obviously, I've had discussions with Brother and Hufflepuff.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not that they're secrets. It's just.
It's so weird that you talk to my brother about me.
But it was only in that time.
Right, okay.
Other than that, me and him just send each other thirst traps on TikTok.
Of course.
And it's the same with, like, I can send Hufflepuff so much Batman stuff because I can send it to you, but you don't get it.
I get parts of it.
You get parts of it, but there's like, God rest his soul, Kevin Conroy passed away the other day.
He did.
And that man's like my childhood. He is the voice of Batman. He is Batman. He has portrayed him in animated TV shows, animated movies. He's portrayed him in live action. He's portrayed him in video games. You know, he is Batman.
Yeah.
And the first person I told was Hufflepuff.
Okay.
Because she's on the same wavelength as that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like in however many years' time, when, like, it was the same with, like, Robbie Coltrane died.
Yeah.
You know, it was like that was a group chat to you because it was a big thing for all of us.
Yeah.
But why is this a 40? What is going on?
I'm assuming roadworks at somewhere along the road. I'm assuming.
Possibly, I don't know.
Thing is, it's a weekend, so even if there was roadworks, they wouldn't be out right now because it's the weekend. But they don't bother taking the signs down.
But that's the thing. They should put a sign that says Monday to Friday only.
Yeah, but
anyway,
hindsight and
exactly
all that.
But I digress. What I'm saying is that there's not things that I don't keep from you. It's just things that it's not like I've got a big pure secret like I'm dying or something stupid like that. Yeah. There's just things that have
happened
that have happened that people might ask me and things like that. And it's the same with like my parents. Parents might ask, like, especially when all that was going on, my parents would ask me and I've told them about it.
Yeah.
And I just said to them, I said, you know, if he comes in, don't mention it. Yeah. You know, because obviously my parents had, did the talk for you.
The talk for me? Oh, yeah. I remember now, yeah.
Because it's difficult. So for context for everybody, is obviously, and this is where we're opening wounds and the baggage and everything.
It's past history to me now.
It's
not wounds anymore for me.
But what people might not understand is that obviously your parents don't know.
Yes.
And that's the thing. And this is where things like this get a bit complicated, is that because of their religion they can't know until you are willing.
Until they stumble across this podcast. Whoops.
Basically, if he doesn't tell them before this comes out, and basically he becomes homeless, because they'll just kick him out and blacklist him. It's a bit depressing. I don't really want to get too much into it. But obviously my dad, when it was my parents' anniversary party, my dad took you to one side, didn't he?
He did.
And he said, if you want us to do the meeting of the parents thing, then we're happy to do it.
Be the standing parents.
Yeah, be the standing parents.
That was really cute.
And
really
and when you told me that, I was like, my God, my dad's getting soft at his old age.
He's got grandkids now.
I know.
The moment you get grandkids, it's literally all strictness just out the window.
Yeah, basically.
That's the rule of being a grandparent.
Yeah, and that's basically what it is. But, and there's things like that, like, But like, my dad never told me that he was going to say that. And it's like when you came around for Christmas and things like that. And I had to explain to them that Ben's never had... how old were we? About 24, 25?
Yes.
Must be 3 or 4 Christmases ago.
Yeah.
About that. And you come around...
It was Archie's first Christmas, so...
okay, so he'll be 4 in December, so 3 years ago.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So... I had to explain to them. I said, you've only ever had one Christmas meal before, that was at your sister's.
Yes.
And even then, that was all like Marks and Sparks just chucked in the oven.
Yeah.
You've never had a homemade roast Christmas lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents were just like... And then my mum started having a panic attack. She was just like, oh my God, I'm under so much pressure now to make sure this is really good. I said, to be honest, Mum, it doesn't matter if it's good or not, because one, he's got nothing to compare it to.
And two, if you see the size of him, it's not like he turns down food.
Exactly, back in them days.
Come on.
But it was, there's like little things like that. Like, that's like, I've never told you that.
Yeah.
And it's not because I've kept it as a secret.
No, it's just never
come up in conversation. My mum was really worried, and she then tried to put out more stops, and she was like, "Well, should we do it this way or that way?" I was like, "Mum, just do it how you would normally do it, because you make a good Christmas meal."
I'm
and
going to
Ben
tell
will
you.
appreciate it.
I'm going to tell you now. There was only one thing I didn't enjoy about that Christmas
I know, it was
meal.
the gravy.
No, no. Well, the gravy was a bit on the watery side. The bit that I didn't enjoy was because, of course, you know me. I don't nap.
Yeah.
Your family is a family of nappers.
Oh.
So post meal, we put a film on, and just one by one, all of you fall asleep. And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck do I do now?
But this is, if I've still got the picture, I'll figure out a way of putting it on here. You sent me a Snapchat, didn't you, of me and my dad on the sofa saying like father, like son. But that's a traditional Christmas Day thing. You overeat to the point where you have to have a nap.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Oh, Jesus.
But it was literally just the kind of a, right, we put the film on, everyone's slowly falling asleep. What do I do? What were
you watching? Avengers?
It was one of the Avengers films. I think it might have been Age of Ultron.
Or the first, either that or the first one.
Yeah. Your mum was the one who lasted the longest, but I think even she went down for about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
I
napped.
You napped.
I napped that day.
I think you and your dad were a race to fall asleep.
Yeah,
Who was going to fall asleep first?
I was like, because I was telling myself, I can't have a nap. I can't have a nap because Ben's here. I can't have a nap. Next thing I knew, I was dropped.
Yeah. No, you and your dad were racing to nap.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only thing I did. The only bit I didn't enjoy because it was kind of like, all right, I'm in someone else's house. Like, I mean, I say I'm in someone else's house. It was basically my second home.
Well, yeah,
and everything. But it was like, it was still kind of a, okay, what do I do now? They're all asleep. I can't. Because you know, even if I changed the channel or something, someone would have woken up going, "What's going on?"
Nah, that wouldn't have happened.
But yeah, but no, it was a lovely Christmas day, and as you said, my first official Christmas meal and everything. But can we go back to your parents' anniversary party? Because there was one thing that happened at your parents' anniversary party that I love.
Okay.
And that was when some people at the anniversary party may have made a few homophobic comments in front of your dad.
That was hilarious.
Like, obviously, because I've got really good hearing, haven't I?
Yeah. For the record, you've got really good hearing, and two, you aren't too fussed about homophobic things.
Yeah.
Because you make homophobic jokes and you're gay.
Yeah.
Okay? But, for context, there was a few people, but I think that was because...
That was of the age they were.
Of the age they were.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't know anything.
No. They were... Yeah. Anyway, they started making a few homophobic comments to your dad, and of course I picked up on it, and instantly, because I was me, you, and I think your aunt were in a conversation. But of course my ears pricked up to the comments, and I was in the conversation with you guys, but I was zeroing in on that conversation. And like your dad kept shooting shifty glances at me.
I have never seen my dad look so awkward. I have never seen him like that. It was hilarious. For 28 years on that planet at that time, I had never seen him look like that. He was like, oh my god.
He was like, what do I do in this moment? And I was like, do I make a scene? Do I do something?
What do I say?
What do I do? Because you know me, I love to make a scene. If I can.
To be honest, I'm proud that you didn't.
It's not my place. It wasn't my place.
I know.
You know, that's the simple answer.
It was hilarious.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Because when I saw you zeroing in, I was like, what are they talking about here? And then I heard a comment and I was like, oh, this is going to go. This is going to be good. This is going to
credit to your dad. He handled it so well.
And to be fair to him, he even like...
He kind of started to shut them down. He didn't completely say, you need to stop, because of course they were guests to his party, blah, blah, blah.
And to be fair, the couple that it was, they are good family friends.
Yeah.
But they are of that generation. They are very old.
Yeah.
And it's the same with all those generations. It's like they would use words that we would never dream to use words nowadays.
It's of that generation, because a lot of people, because you're going to get some people listen to this and they're going to comment and go, no, he should have shut him down. How dare he not tell them to shut the fuck up?
And that might be that person's preference.
Yeah. But at the end of the day,
the
people of that generation, you can shut them down as much as you want. You can scream and shout in their face. Is it going to change their opinion? No.
Exactly.
They are too old and too set in their ways to change their opinion. So, like, as your father did, he slowly steered them off the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, change the topic. Best thing you can do. In my opinion.
And you know what the sad thing is because of his upbringing. Back in the day, he would have probably agreed.
Oh, yeah.
But And I don't know if I don't want to make it sound like I'm like, but you've kind of helped him, kind of like understand that other side of things.
Well, I think it's because, of course, normally when, of course, like I haven't had to come out to them, but
No.
because I'm not their child.
Yeah.
But it's, of course, you know, when you see them all in the TV on the TV shows, and it's like they come out to their parents and they do the whole, I'm still me, I'm not changed, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Because I've not, like, your dad knows that, because I don't think, when we first met when we were like 12, 13, of course he wouldn't have known, but of course then as it's sort of come out, oh yeah, Ben's gay kind of thing, he's seen me not change and be who I am and everything.
Yeah.
It's softened
always.
it.
Yeah, you've always been you.
Yeah. Then helped by him now getting a job in a school where he looks after, like...
Well, yeah, because we've had this discussion with my dad before. Maybe you were there, I can't remember, but I've certainly had this discussion. Because my dad's, obviously with everything that's going on, my dad's had to learn all the correct pronouns, and they've got they've got a few non-binary, they've got one transitioning in sixth form and things like that. So he's had to learn all the correct pronouns. He's had to find out which students want to be used by what pronoun and everything else. And he's just like, I just didn't, you know, my dad's ex-military. My grandfather, my granddad, who was raised by him, was ex-military, was also in the prison service. You know, served over in Dartmoor prison and things like that. You know, you were of that generation, and it was a strict thing. And I think it's good for him to learn, and I think you helped, because I remember the day that I told him that you were gay.
Right, really? Go on, man. I don't think I've actually ever heard this, so go on.
Not?
No.
Good.
Because it's never been an issue.
Yeah, because it's never. So it's going to sound really bizarre.
Yeah.
But do you remember?
20th September. Sorry, no, right.
Good song.
Caffeine. Push it down.
Do you remember when it was my birthday, many, many, many moons ago, and we had everybody around mine?
Yes. I think it was your 15th
or 16th, something like that. And we all slept in the living room.
We did.
Now, I had told my mum, because my mum, obviously at the time, was very, very strict and everything. They've obviously softened. But I told my parents that the girls would sleep in my room, and the lads would sleep downstairs in the living room.
Yeah.
But we had obviously stayed up all night, and as people had slowly dropped off and everything, we all just ended up falling asleep in the living room.
Yes.
No funny business happened or anything like that.
No.
Now, my mum, it later determined, it was a dream.
Okay.
But my mum had a dream that she caught you making out with...
Ooh, which one?
Horse Rider.
Oh.
Yeah? Got who I mean?
I know who you mean, but...
Okay.
Oh. Really? Of all of them?
It was
insulted.
just a dream.
I'm joking. I'm messing. Horse Rider has really come into her looks.
Oh, mate, I wish I'd nailed that down in fucking high school and kept that. I wish. Because I always thought she was quite attractive.
She was attractive, but like
she has grown into her looks.
She was attractive but overlooked.
Yes.
By other people. But as you said, she's grown into her looks and she looks amazing now.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So she had a dream. Yeah, like we later determined that it was a dream.
Right.
Because she was just like, you broke my trust, you all slept in the same room, you said you wouldn't, blah, 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 and things like that, yada, yada, yada. And she goes, and then I caught Ben making out with Horse Rider, and I was just like, what? I was like, that's impossible. She said, no, I caught him and I told him off not to do that in my house, blah, blah, blah. I was like, Mum, no, that's impossible. And she goes, no, I caught him. I said, no, Mum, you must have been dreaming. I said, that's impossible. And she goes, well, how is it? I said, well, because Ben's gay. And they looked at me and they went, what? And I was like, the dude's gay. At that time, I think it was around the time where DD
had outed me in school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was around that time, and I was like, the dude is gay. And I was just like, he's very much gay. He is gay. Oh dear.
That was a burnout.
It was. I said, the dude is gay. I said, it's impossible for you to have caught him making out with Horse Rider because he's gay and he doesn't like women. I said, you must be dreaming. And then that was the only way we had determined. And I was like, the American Nobody would have made out with him.
Nope.
The God-fearing child that was there,
Yeah.
who was a couple of years younger than us, he was like 14.
Yeah.
So there was no way that anybody was making out with us. And as much as I appreciate it was my birthday, I wasn't going to get a look in. So it didn't make a difference. I think some of them, Horse Rider had a boyfriend, the one that was living in Wales. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So I think I even brought that up and I said that she's got a long distance relationship. And I said, and I think that, who else was there? Was Black there?
Black wasn't there, but Forrest might have been.
Yes. Forrest definitely was.
Yeah.
Because
this is what I'm saying. When in her dream she's called me with Horse Rider, if anything, I would have assumed that she would have called me with Forrest.
Yeah. But I feel like, if anything, you would have preferred it to be Forrest.
100%.
Yeah.
100% preferred it to be Forrest.
But to be fair, I think now Horse Rider is better looking than Forrest.
That is because Forrest hasn't looked after herself.
I agree.
She's now looking after herself. She started going to the gym and everything, but like, and let me just retract that. I'm not saying that fat girls are unattractive. Because she was never fat.
She was never fat.
It was more,
but she's gone.
She went adult and was like, I can smoke, I can drink, all that kind of stuff. Now it's like she's cutting down on the smoking, she's cutting down on the drinking,
healthy eating.
Yeah.
Gym,
she's looking after herself that way.
Yeah.
Let me just clarify.
Not like looking after herself, like trying to lose weight.
Yeah, no.
She was never big.
No, never.
She always had a good figure.
Yeah.
And so did Horse Rider. But
So
Horse
did Horse
Rider's
Rider.
grown into that thing.
Yeah. Horse Rider started doing a lot of marathon running.
She has.
Yeah.
And that's worked in her favour.
Yeah. Anyway, was
So yeah, but that's how I outed you to my parents.
fair enough. Was half Australian there?
I think she might have been. Because obviously I fancy you.
You fancied half Australian like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah. Because that's how. Because when. Were you there for her pirate party?
Pirate party? No.
You know when she left the ex to then get with our friend part of the lads group?
Yeah. No, I wasn't there. That was when I was living in London.
Okay. So the American was there when he was dating the friend from high school. Can't think of her name.
Call her the Wharf?
Wharf, yeah, Wharf. She can be called Wharf. So that was there. And of course, it was that party, and I was meeting that like him and that group of friends who then was become like our friends as well.
Yeah.
And half Australian just decided to casually drop in conversation that I used to fancy her in high school. And then from there, he hated me for ages.
Yeah, he did.
But he kind of realised that
You've moved on.
I massively moved on.
Yeah.
But it was like a case of like, I fully appreciate the fact that there's a guy there that used to fancy you for years. But
Wait, a guy that used to fancy me? Who? What?
No.
Oh, no, you're talking about half Australian.
Speaking as...
I was about to say, dude, why did you fucking tell?
No.
Who is it? What's their name? What are they doing now? Are they single?
Self-centered.
So self-centered. It's hilarious.
But, yeah, it's just... it was just one of them situations. And I can understand why he didn't like me. But the rest of the group befriended me.
Yeah.
And then he kind of realised it was all cool.
Yeah.
So... but yeah, but that was how I outed you to my parents.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'd never known about that dream. Apparently, I'm very good at appearing in realistic dreams then, because my mum once had a dream about me in a car crash.
Really?
Yeah. So I must have been about 5 or 6.
Okay.
My mum was doing nights at the time.
Okay.
And she'd come home from a night shift, she'd gone to bed, and she had a dream that, like, we were doing chores like food shopping or something, and she had a car crash, and she managed to get my brother out of the car, but I was still in the car, and of course naturally the car started to catch fire and everything. And then anyway, she woke up and she was panicking and everything. My dad came running into the bedroom, and she was like, "Oh, Ben's gone." And my dad's like, "What do you mean Ben's gone? What's going on?" And he's like, "He's died. He died in a car crash." Blah, blah, blah. And my dad was like, "Ben's downstairs watching TV," and she's like, "No. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you being so ridiculous? He's dead. I know he's dead, and it was me me, I killed him, blah, blah, blah. I had a car crash and everything. My dad had to literally come downstairs. Ben, can you just come upstairs quickly? I'm watching this. Ben, come upstairs now. And just led me into, and I just remember, because as I said, I was about 5 or 6. I just remember being led into the bedroom, and my mum just like grabbing me and like holding on to me, and I was just like, wow, what's going on?
That's a vicious dream.
Yeah. And it was only afterwards that I learned that my mum had this realistic dream that she honestly thought she killed me in a car crash.
Wow.
And if ever I'm in trouble, I'm just like, well, you killed me in a car crash. How could you? How could you?
A car crash?
A car crash. I am Harry Potter. I knew it. But yeah, so apparently I'm very good at appearing in realistic dreams.
Fair play.
I've apparently got a very good personality and character that people can easily replicate in their minds.
Wow.
And I love that your mum also didn't choose you as the one to be the whore. She
knew subconsciously that you were a whore.
She's looking at him going, he's the one who's most likely to fall.
Well, it's either that, or she knew that I didn't have a hope of hell. She was like, there's no way Paddy's pulling, so...
Yeah. She may have looked around the group and been like, yeah, he's too nervous, he ain't pulling nothing. Whereas Ben's too confident. And that's the thing, I was probably too confident because I wasn't attracted to anyone there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I could just be me. Whereas, of course, you were probably nervous, like, oh, this is my moment probably to try and get a kiss from half Australian.
Yeah. Put the old moves on it.
Of course, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But your mum's gone, right, he's too nervous, he's lovely and confident, he's going to get the guy. And then she's had a hooking up with Horse Rider.
Yeah.
Which is just brilliant. I love it.
That was hilarious.
Good.
Right, how far are we?
We are 8 minutes away from the next pit stop.
Cool.
This one's gone a lot quicker, even though they've both been roughly an hour.
Yeah.
This one's gone a lot quicker. I don't know why, because I haven't been speeding because the car's been on cruise control. I have not been driving, the car has.
It'll be the caffeine.
It will be the caffeine, you are correct.
Because I have exactly the same thing. I feel like this one's gone quite quick.
Yeah, but you had a coffee before we left with the first one.
Yeah, but that was to make me human.
Fair enough.
Yeah. We didn't actually end up talking about parents screwing us over.
No, we did, because I talked about
a little
car.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want me to talk about another story, I'm trying to quickly think of another time when they've screwed me over.
Nah, I think we'll call it on that one.
One quick one was when my dad dictated what my GCSE options were, because of course he didn't want his son going and doing a swatty thing like drama.
Yeah.
But of course I was like, no, drama is my thing. That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
And so of course he was like, right, you do drama, but I get to pick your other 3 courses. So of my 4 GCSE options, I only technically picked 1, and my dad picked the other 3.
Yeah.
And what did he fucking pick? Media studies, which actually with drama is not too bad.
Yeah.
Just a shame that the teacher was retiring. Well, not retirement, quitting. Yeah. She knew she was quitting, but hadn't told anyone, and she couldn't be bothered to follow the curriculum.
Yeah.
And so year 10 was a complete write-off, and we had to redo year 10 and year 11, which was great fun.
Yeah.
German, because my dad speaks German, and he was like, yes, it's a money. And critical thinking, which of course was like the gateway to law, because my dad wanted me to be a lawyer.
Such a dad. That is such a dad thing. Well, I had the same thing. I wanted to do acting.
Yeah.
But my parents were just like, so as a compromise, I got to pick 2 and they got to pick 2.
Right, yeah.
And that was what because I picked...
Can I guess which ones your parents picked?
Okay.
Engineering.
Yep.
And French.
Yep. And then I picked ICT and performing arts. So, because that was what I had to read. I had to redo ICT as well. Do you remember Miss Dashtamir?
I remember Miss Dashtamir.
What a bitch! What a bitch! So we had this new teacher, and she'd been working in the best private schools and everything. Well, that's what she said. But basically,
I was about to say, we've got 5 minutes. I don't think I can talk about Miss Dashtamir in under 5 minutes.
Yeah, but anyway, in broad scope, basically, she worked for a year, she fucked off and took everybody's work. And she took all our ICT work. So basically the whole of year 10 was screwed. So we had to condense year 10 and year 11 into 1 year. And that was when we had, what was his name?
Mr. Salter?
No. He was the supply teacher, the old guy who we called the cyborg, who had the hearing aid chip.
Lightbody?
No. He was the music teacher.
I was about to say, but he was also a supply teacher, like what he was.
Yeah, but he went to be a full-time music teacher, though, didn't he? I can't
Supply
remember his
teacher
name.
with the hearing aids.
He was like quite a big old guy that was kind of like hunched over a bit, with glasses. He had a full head of white hair. That's why he wasn't like body.
No, I don't know.
I can't remember his name for the life of me.
You're gonna message me at like 2 o'clock in the morning, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll come downstairs and go, "What?"
Yeah, all I'm going to say about Miss Dashtamir is she is the only person I have ever met who had a bigger ego than I had.
And that is saying
And that is saying something.
Yeah, she was a bitch.
Because I have a big ego. But as you've always said, because it irritates you to no end, I have a big ego, but I'm proud enough to call myself out on my own bullshit.
Yeah.
It pisses you off to no end.
Yeah.
I remember
that's the bit I want to do.
I remember you once looking at me going, Ben, you are so cocky and so egotistical. But you call yourself out on it before I can. I'm like, yes, best way to be.
At least you admit it, yeah.
Yeah. I know I'm egotistical. I know I'm cocky as shit. But, you know, I call myself out and I'm like, oh, there's me being egotistical again. But yeah, I remember because she once covered a science lesson. And we didn't learn a single bit of science.
What's that?
All we learned about was her.
Yeah.
And that will have to be the end of that because we're just about now pulling into the pit stop.
And the way that she made you call her Madame.
Did she? Yeah. She didn't in the...
It was Madame Dashtamir.
Madame Dashtamir.
Madame Dashtamir. She wouldn't take Madam or Miss. It had to be Madame.
Oh, I know what we're going to talk about in the next episode. We're going to go into high school and
definitely
all the teachers.
Next episode could be high school because I feel that's a good topic.
That is a good
high
topic.
school is the one. Miss high school.
We were the year that just destroyed the teachers.
Oh god, yeah. And luckily, it wasn't even us. It was other people.
It was other people in our year, but we were the year.
Yeah. But on that note, we shall leave it there until the next episode.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us on episode 5. Very much appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye.